Good morning, hockey.
Good morning, Zenny.
How you doing?
I'm terrific, Zenny. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm just great. We have an awesome race for you guys today. It is a little bit of it's more of a showcase than a competitive race necessarily. We have a celebration today of the new route debut for Super Metroid Any Percent. And
Any
our
percent.
racers will be starting shortly. Just realized that I was still gatekeeping and had not let them out of the gate. So now they're going to go here in just a minute.
That's right. But Zenny, you said any percent. I thought any percent's been around a lot longer than 10 years.
It has, but new route. Hockey, new route.
Oh,
so,
new route.
Yes.
Okay.
So just to clarify, 10 years ago today, we had a lovely shakeup of any percent in Super Metroid. Behemoth 87 debuted a new world record run 2 days after Zost just had a crazy run in the existing route. Behemoth's new time was the first 43 RTA run ever. It was a 43:48, I think is what I figured out. Yeah, so 43:48. But strangely, the in-game time was slower. It was a 30-minute in-game time, and compared to Zost's previous run of a 44:08:28 in-game time. And the reason for that is because the route completely changed, which made things like door transitions different and whatever. So, Hockey, do you want to talk a little bit about this very precarious run that we're about to see and what to expect here?
I'd love to, Zenny. So, like Zenny said, folks, right here on Speed Gaming, this is new route. This is Fantoon, Ridley, Kraid, Dragon, in that order. It was a paradigm shift in any percent RTA for Super Metroid, and there are many challenges ahead. Many different types of challenges than our Kraid first companions would be running into. But the first challenge they face, then, is to get off Ceres Station.
Yes, the Ceres Station, the Blue Purgatory, I think is what I've heard JRP refer to it as.
Blue Purgatory, I like that. Then you still have world record in this, don't you?
In this? No.
No?
I've never had any percent world record.
No. I'm talking about Ceres.
Oh, Ceres. Yes, I have Ceres escape world record. It is getting more and more difficult to potentially do that. It's still possible.
So some pretty hot times from these runs. Oh, unfortunately, MoQ taking a little tumble there in the elevator shaft. Going to be finishing up with looks like a 30, just a high 35 there.
It looks like we have Slaughter's taking an early lead.
Yeah, where are my manners, Zenny? Look at this assembling of phenomenal runners. We've got Slaughter's 27, MoQ, Bressingham, and Professor School right here on the Restream, the flagship station of Speed Gaming. And yeah, it's going to be a very exciting race ahead of us. All runners, and not only on the Restream, but also inside the race time room. All 10 participants are going to be running PRKD. No Kraid second shenanigans, although that is an interesting wrinkle to an established category.
So actually, just to potentially correct you there.
Oh no! Someone's running Kraid second?
I actually left the boss order a little bit ambiguous here because we were hoping for more participation. So If somebody wants to just kind of, maybe do Kraid first, we'll just look the other way. I don't think that's going to happen on the restream necessarily, but
Wait, Kraid first or
or
Kraid
not Kraid
second?
first. Kraid after Fantoon.
All right.
PKRD. Picard.
Good old
Some
Picard.
people like to call it. Yeah. So.
All right, well, I will be less draconian in my announcement of the rules.
I mean, your assumption made sense.
Okay.
So you may have noticed we had a lead change here. And the reason for that would actually be because of the way Sloters chooses to play this game. Hockey, are you aware of what I'm referring to there?
I am, yeah. Like our good friend Insane Firebat, Sloters 27 is one of the stalwart standouts to not utilize Moonwalk in her control scheme. And because of that, she's unable to unlock the movement technique called the Moonfall.
And what does Moonfalling do for our runners?
Well, for our runners, Zenny, it's going to uncap Samus's fall speed, which allows them to save somewhere between, I think, 4 to 5 seconds just in the reverse climb there down the old Nestroid climb room. But it can be utilized throughout the run in many different scenarios.
Yes, that is correct. Another thing that is extremely useful about Moonwalk as a mechanic is it allows for very... what's the word that I'm looking for? Just very tiny position adjustments.
Sure.
If you need to like back into a door, which is something that might happen here later in this run or something like that. So Moonwalk itself, it's interesting because for a long time nobody used it because everybody thought that it was just too awkward to use. But then Moonfall was discovered, and so now pretty much everybody uses it.
For sure. That's a 4:47 bombs touch time for Slaughter. So despite that not having moonwalk capability, she made up all that time just based on execution.
Yep, Sloters is an amazing player, and I also consider her a pretty good friend. We've only met, I think, once at a GDQ, but lovely individual, and I love watching her stream.
We saw a really nice technique there from MoQ as well, the Just Defend climb, sometimes called the Behemoth climb, but the other runners utilized wall jumps. But the movement, Zenny, you could talk to this point so much better than I ever could. You can articulate it so much better. The movement of this game, the depth, the breadth, the variety is it's spellbinding. It's what makes it such an exciting speed game.
Yeah, absolutely. The movement specifically is what convinces a lot of people that they want to try running it, which is kind of funny because when you're watching, a top player do movement in this game, they make it look not necessarily easy, but like it's just so cool. You kind of don't realize how difficult it can be, and so a lot of people will try to pick up the game, and then they decide, oh, this is too hard, or this is impossible, or everybody that I've seen is actually cheating, or something like that. Side note, Melody in the chat saying, I thought this was a 2014 race. What the heck?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah, because Moonfall was discovered in 2017. So, you know what? I should have banned Moonfall for this race. I should have. That's my bad.
God.
My apologies.
I think we saw a little bit of muscle memory maybe from Sloters. She did take damage off that first green pirate, but managed to farm up to full supers before going down the Bryn elevator. So I hope that lack of energy isn't going to come back to haunt her later on. It's only a little bit that she's missing, but the rest of the runners do have nearly full.
She's in a good spot with 94. Yeah. She'll be just fine.
They must have picked up a large energy or something.
Knock on wood over here. I don't want to, Actually, you know what? Sloters.
Oh no!
Sloters cheated against me in an any percent race.
Really?
For the Games Done Quick 25th anniversary.
Oh my gosh.
We had a showcase any percent race where we all agreed that we would grab the Ridley energy tank in order to help ensure the survival of all of our race participants. And what I thought that meant was 4 energy tanks total. But
Oh no.
Sloters decided to just skip the Batwoonie tank and ended up winning that race.
Oh my god.
I was in the lead. Rude. So you know what? I can't feel bad if I end up commentators cursing Sloters here. That's a lie. I will feel awful if that happens.
My gosh. Oh, it's so funny. So maybe Sloters 27, guilty or not guilty of gamesmanship, we're not sure, but the rest of these runners are looking razor sharp today. A little bit of a miscue there from Sloters, but Professor School, Moku, and Bressingham all attempting to climb the red tower here. Very, very difficult trick. It does allow Moku to take a bit of a lead here.
Melody calling out my skill issue in in the chat.
Unbelievable. Oh, this is so funny. So we saw the first major sequence break, which was the early supers. Now we have the next major sequence break, which is going up the red tower instead of down to Kraid's warehouse, and then by extension of that to Upper Norfair. But they're gonna pick up these alpha power bombs.
Sorry, I need to call this out. Bressingham fell in one of the Vile Plumes there, and now has a pretty precarious energy situation.
I'll say.
It'll be interesting to see a decision-making process here. All right, they're just going for it as of right now. This is a very scary situation to be in. I guess we'll see. Maybe they'll farm the crabs, or
yeah, maybe. I am curious to see what Brest is going to do here. It's, like you said, this is a very tough situation to be in. You see Moku pick up a little bit of energy, so at least above 1 full energy tank. Setting up for this continuous wall jump. This looks pretty good. I think Professor School, though, is going to have to use a horizontal bomb jump.
Double power bombs from those crabs for Bressingham. Oh, that's too bad.
It's super unlucky for both runners to get double health dropped as well as.
Oh no, and Professor School into the moat as well.
So a little bit. We're going to the beach here. A little bit of dipping our toes in the water, just cooling off, relaxing.
Bressingham has made it across. Phantoon and Phantoon's Flames both do 40 damage.
Oh my.
Okay, that's a good call right there. Still in a tough situation here. Bressingham currently can only take 1 hit from Phantoon.
Wow.
So hold your breath here.
Yeah, this is tough. Oh, and Moku's across the moat. I thought Professor School's setting up. Also across the moat. Oh my goodness, all 4 runners are across the moat, Zenny. And they're being rewarded with more punishment, which is to face Phantoon with incredibly limited resources.
Sloters and Bress both choosing to farm both of those atomics and the ghost enemy. I forget what they're called.
Coburn?
Yeah, that's right. At the bottom of the wreck ship shaft there. So energy's looking a little better. Still definitely need to play it safe here.
Oh yes. Phantoon has claimed many a run in this PRKD route or Phantoon first route. So hopefully the patterns are in the favor of our runners. We now see in modern days in 2024, we do see attempts at 1-rounding Phantoon on the regular, but a slow pattern for Sloters. Nice Doppler from Bressingham. Moku starting off here. Professor School just waiting for Phantoon to appear. A fast pattern for Sloters now. We try to get Phantoon on the way around, and oh no! Oh, Sloters enraged Phantoon.
That's rough.
Well, 1 missile. She was 1 missile short, I think. But oh, Bressingham gets punished with the fast eye close. Look out,
oh,
Bress.
Okay.
Defeated Phantoon.
Bress managed to do a sick dodge under the flames there to avoid taking additional damage. So,
oh my goodness gracious.
Bress is officially out of the Phantoon fight, as is Sloters, as is Moku, as is Professor School. Wow, this race is sick.
It's super sick.
This is a sick race, dude.
Of Sloters here, and Bress did wonderful, Zenny, to stay out of health bomb range, so his resources are not fully depleted exiting Phantoon.
Yeah, excellent performance from all 4 of our racers there. If we had a live crowd, I would be encouraging you guys to cheer.
But don't feel like you can't at home, viewers.
Oh yeah, I mean absolutely. If you wanna cheer at your TV and make the rest of your roommates or family uncomfortable, go for it. Yeah.
Come on, Zenny, tell them to say woo. Everyone likes to say woo.
Yeah, the only live participation I have here with me is my cat, and she is insisting on some attention right now. So.
Oh man. But now, attic can be a very tricky room in this category. They don't have the speed booster to aid them in destroying all these atomics and key hunters. But Professor School doing a really nice job cleaning that up. Bressingham, though, already back to the West Ocean. Sloter's mounting a furious comeback, hot on the tails of both Professor School and Bressingham. But Mokyu looking pretty sharp, too.
Yep, things are staying relatively even and close here, which is, I mean, that's the kind of race that we like to see.
Oh, no question. Especially with a little bit of difficulty from the right side runners with the moat crossing, but then it was equalized by the Fantoon fights. But now they get to reflect. Zenny, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. Hockey, am I actually hearing a little bit of gratitude towards Fantoon from you? Is that?
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, the patterns are what they are. They were what they were, and they allowed us to have this tight of a race. So
Hockey's switching sides over here, you guys.
It might be like a begrudging acknowledgement. I'm in it for the content, Zenny.
In it for the content. Okay, let me just take some notes here.
Oh my goodness. The real winner today, Zenny, are the viewers at home. They get to be shocked and surprised and impressed and awed and wowed by these runners in this brutally hard category. And as if going to the wreck ship first and crossing the moat and facing Fantoon wasn't hard enough, now our runners get to shop till they drop and then go to Lower Norfair, Zenny.
So I just want to mention, as of right now, between our first place racer and our fourth place racer, there's only about a 10-second spread.
That's crazy.
That's awesome. Very, very cool.
Gotta hand it to runners being able to just reset when things go wrong. And Professor School of Mokyu not dwelling on the past and just moving forward at great haste, all for our enjoyment. This is a terrific exhibition so far, but the competition is really going to start heating up when they make it to Norfair. See what I did there, Zenny?
I did. So I just want to mention Bressingham being a little aggressive here, skipping the super farms on those cacks coming down the Red Brain elevator. Skipping farms at 7 is something I would probably do in like a PB attempt grind, but in a race setting, I think I would definitely farm in that situation. So, super missiles. Hockey, do you want to talk about why super missiles are so important in this route, or would you rather I cover that?
It's because more damage, more better. No, I mean, there are a lot of green doors that have to be unlocked with those supers. I've seen many a runner, heck, it's even happened to me running old route, getting stuck in Lower Norfair with no supers to be able to open the door to the Metal Pirates. But Bressingham's got to be really careful here, just barely getting out of health bomb range.
Yeah, so like Hockey mentioned, there's a lot of doors that you need to open with missiles or super missiles. Additionally, in this route of any percent, we don't pick up the plasma beam, which means that we're in a situation where we need a way to do more damage to Ridley faster.
True that.
Also, I want to note that Bressingham is indeed doing PKRD. So
right on.
But yeah. So essentially, supers are important so that doors can be open, but also so that we can do enough damage to, honestly, specifically Ridley.
Yeah.
So that the fight doesn't take a long time.
Because it's double damage for supers against Ridley, right? 600 instead of
Yes.
300. Yeah.
So, yep, supers normally do 300 damage. Against Ridley, they do 600 damage. Full beam combo with plasma does 900 damage, but with Spazer, it only does 300.
That's right.
So, supers versus Ridley, effectively, they double your damage per hit, and you can also fire 3 super missiles in the time that it would take to fire 1 charge beam. And so it definitely drastically reduces the time that the Ridley fight takes. Enough that it's actually been theorized before that maybe, grabbing an extra super pack might actually be worth it. Every time that I and other top runners have looked into it, it ends up being just a little slower, and so not really worth it. But yeah, so
it's interesting for sure.
Very nice mock balls under the gates there from Sloters.
It was tough, yeah. Both Professor School and Sloters having to reset that, but all of Bressingham's energy woes are a thing of the past. Picking up that Kraid E-tank from the janitor's closet of Kraid's warehouse. So Bressingham's not out of the woods, but will at least increase his survivability heading down to Norfair. He's also going to pick up the high jump E-tank.
Yes. So here's a really interesting thing about PKRD. The Varia suit, the Varia suit doesn't actually give you any additional damage reduction in addition to what the gravity suit already provides, except for versus Mother Brain's Rainbow Beam.
Sure.
Which is why our runners still grab it. But for example, like in Lower Norfair, a lot of the time people think that doing Kraid before Ridley, that the Varia suit is going to help with damage reduction in Lower Norfair. And that's actually not true, except for a situation where if a runner needs to do a gravity jump through Lava Dive, they will take less damage during the gravity jump, having the gravity suit unequipped for a couple seconds there. Because Varia suit will reduce the damage taken during that time. So really the main benefits to PKRD are, one, if you end up needing to gravity jump, but also that additional energy tank that can be grabbed, like Hockey mentioned in Kraid's warehouse. And what did you call it? The
janitor's closet.
Janitor's closet. Thank you.
Some people call it the frog pocket as well.
That energy tank does make a pretty significant difference in the survivability of Lower Norfair, if that's something that you're struggling with. So,
no, for sure, Zany, for sure. Astute observation analysis as always. So it does look like Bressingham is leagues behind these 3 runners, but he's not. If you're just joining us, Bressingham did Kraid second rather than Ridley, and so it's just picking up the ice beam. But Moku and Professor School are almost in a dead heat with each other, and only like a room behind Sloters, as all 3 of these runners are going to be setting up for the lava dive that Zenny already mentioned.
Yeah, we've also seen our runners pick up the pre-wave missile pack for a total of 20 missiles. The reason for this, so a lot of the time when you're watching any percent world records or world record attempt level runs, most runners will actually skip that missile pack right there. The reason our runners are picking it up here is because at the end of the game, if you only have 15 missiles to work with, there's no room for error, and your run can literally just end at Mother Brain if you have one of your missile shots get sniped by one of the turrets. So this is grabbing that extra missile pack is a bit of a safety against that in these runner situations. So
Moku just barely like a pixel or 2 off, bonking into that jutting out platform there. That's making rough. Up Ridley's open mouth. Using that gravity jump though, but has to be careful on energy here, especially if he's going to do fast pillars.
Yeah, if I were in Moku's situation here, I might opt to not even worry about the fast pillar spark, but it is a big time loss. It is a big time loss to do all power bombs there, so we'll see.
Slaughter's, though, leading the way here. She's turning and burning. We'll see if Professor School can get this fast pillar sparking right into worst room in the game. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there, Zenny. MoQ definitely with power bombs selected. So this is slower, but will be leaving him with more energy.
Much safer theoretically.
For sure.
So.
And I think it's I forget where the intersection point is for Kraid second versus Ridley second, but Bressingham looking really sharp here. No, MoQ, just get that wall jump. Yes! Worst room of the game conquered by all three runners that are in Lower Norfair.
Very nice. Slaughter's heading down through Wasteland.
That's just enough power bombs. Whew. Does not have to pick up the power bombs of necessity. Oh, but didn't get that double KO. That's okay. Would love to see more supers here. Gonna top it off from these metal pirates.
Professor School doing a pretty good job dodging the key hunters on the way down.
For sure.
As did MoQ. And
Breast setting up for gravity jump here. Look at this.
So based on that, it looks like Bress is actually maining the gravity jump there. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. I like the additional, those extra little wall jumps in there around the Namahe.
Yeah.
All right, here we go, Zenny. Everyone's favorite space pelican.
Yep. So Slaughter's here is opting to do a what's referred to as a beam-only fight. Sometimes in this route, you'll see runners use X Factors on Ridley. Slaughter's is not worrying about that. So the advantage to this is that the X Factors can be kind of tricky to manipulate them correctly to hit Ridley, and also you kind of have to hope that Ridley gives you a favorable pattern with those. If you're doing just the beam fight, it's a little bit more straightforward in terms of the flow of the fight itself, but it's harder to optimize your damage. So the fight can take a little longer on average. Theoretically, there's not that much of a disparity between them, X Factors being just a little faster. So.
Oh my goodness, did you see that dodge from Slaughter's ducking under? She's taken like 3 hits off of Ridley's body, but her health is still looking really good. Oh, gotta be extra careful here though. All right, Sidewinder missile selected, just like in Top Gun. Super missiles delivered, and that is it. Slaughter's is done with Ridley. Whew.
Nice fight.
What a fight. I'm kind of 60-40 whether she picks up this Ridley tank or not. 64-40 against.
Well, but, even if she does, she's probably also going to pick up the Botwoon tank, just to be clear.
Just to be clear.
Or to skip it, I mean. Sorry. Just to be clear.
Oh, man. Oh, my goodness.
Can never, ever trust Slaughter's with that.
Oh, my gosh. And Professor School finishing off Ridley as well, and Moke. Oh my goodness!
This is hype. This race is so good. Hockey, thank you for joining me for this.
Oh, my pleasure, Zay. Thank you for joining me. This is terrific. Look at this reverse powerhouse from Slaughters into Metal Pirates, just flying, blazing a trail here. Now Bressingham does have that Kraid fight in hand, but the other 3 runners do have to now visit Kraid's warehouse if they can get out of Lower Norfair, because I feel like the escape is just as treacherous as the boss fight.
The escape is scary, yes. With 3 full energy tanks, it's not too bad. Obviously, our runners still need to be careful, but things should work out okay as long as nothing goes super terribly wrong. Knock on wood again, of course.
Knock on wood. Be careful.
Notice that Professor School opted to skip that Ridley tank, so gotta play it a little safe here.
That's 7 seconds in hand then, along with the 2 door transitions. That's quite a bit of makeup.
Yeah, it's like 15 seconds total.
Wow. It's gotta be. Oh my God. Gotta avoid those key hunters. What amazing movement from
man,
School.
That was.
Oh, Sloters,
Okay.
be
Oh.
careful! She's
Okay.
out of
Okay.
Lord Warfare.
Sloters through the Three Musketeers. We have Professor School entering Three Musketeers.
Oh my goodness. Whew, I'm on the edge of my seat here, Zeddy. This is really terrific. Look at Professor School's movement. Oh, that graceful arc above that last.
Amazing,
that last
amazing movement handling through that.
Oh
room.
my gosh.
Now we've got Mo Q with the Three Musketeers.
Health looks great. Can tank a couple hits here, but Bressingham is also through Ridley. Did pick up that tank. I'm sorry, skipped the tank. Just picked up the crate tank.
Yeah, I would imagine that Bressingham would likely skip that based on the crate tank.
Could 4-tank it with the Botuni tank, but doesn't necessarily need it to escape Lore Warfare.
All right, so here's the wrinkle. So Sloters is now going to be heading to Kraid, as is Professor School, followed by Moq. Bressingham is already done with Kraid. So when Bressingham is exiting Lower Norfair, they will not need to, or Norfair, excuse me, they will not need to stop at Kraid.
True.
That being said, that also means that they don't get a super missile refill from Mini Kraid, which they need super missiles for the Meridia segment that is coming up.
No question.
So Mothman mentioned Bressingham chose to farm the Metal Pirates. That wasn't an attempt to get super missiles, and it looks like they're in a pretty good spot in terms of super missiles now. So they're not going to need to worry about doing any additional farming as they exit Norfair, which is definitely a favorable thing. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how pace compares here.
Yeah,
we're
getting ready to converge for sure. But yeah, the resources for Bress look terrific. He's got everything he needs. Just needs to get out of Dodge. Has done so as far as leaving Lower Norfair in his rearview window. But Professor School with some lag reduction strats there, Kraid quick kill executed perfectly. Moq setting up for it. I feel like that lag reduction in that room is kind of a newer part of this run, Zenny.
The Kraid lag reduction?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been around for probably a few years at this point.
8 of the 10 years.
But
it's relatively new.
No, I mean it is. It is relatively new. I remember when Snick first discovered why it happens, and that was just a few years ago. So essentially, in Kraid's room, above and below the visible room, Kraid has these claw projectiles that kind of spawn and float around to try and hurt you and make the fight harder. Prior to Kraid standing up, those still exist. Again, above the ceiling and below the floor. If they're above the ceiling, they don't move. They just sit there, static. But if they're below the floor, they do. They fly around. That actually causes additional lag. So if you have wave beam, you can shoot below the floor to kill them, which will reduce lag. And then also you can drop in the spikes for iframes to further reduce lag. So.
Oh, Sloters just barely missing that one round on Botoon there, but saves the last super. Professor School is really gaining on Sloters right now as he backs it up to go for that short charge through the pre-Botoon hallway. And Bressingham's already into Aqueduct, so here we go, Zenny. Yahtzee!
I'm glad for you, Hockey. Oh, Professor School also missing the one round.
Just a nice little head pat there from Zenny. Thank you, Zenny.
Yeah, you're welcome. Bressingham, unfortunately, missing one of the X Factor particles. That is pretty much worst case scenario what can happen in this fight, unfortunately. So the great thing about X Factors is each particle does 300 damage. So it's a really good way to do a lot of damage very quickly. The biggest risk with X Factor strategies is that if the particles don't collide with your target, they'll float around until they do collide with an enemy or something that will despawn them. And while there is still a particle on screen, you actually can't shoot. And so Bressingham found themselves in a situation there where they could not do additional damage to Botwoon until that particle was off screen, despawned. So
this race is getting tighter and tighter, Zeddy. We saw full halfies from pretty much everybody.
Looked to me like Sloter's got a halfie,
like a quarter halfie.
Yeah. Bressingham definitely got a quarter halfie. I saw, which is unfortunate.
I think Moku got a full, but Professor School had to launch the spark into the ceiling. Sloter's trying to clean up this dragon fight. Gonna play it safe though, and let it one more iteration here.
Now, I would be it would be unfair of me not to mention that Sloter's did indeed grab the Botwoon E-Tank. So, Sloter's, thank you for, I'm assuming you did that because you're listening, hearing me complain about you cheating in our race. So
oh my gosh.
I just need to acknowledge, like, I can see that you've changed as a person, and I forgive you, okay? So let's just let the past be in the past. I'll mention it again next time I'm commentating one of your races, I'm sure, but it's okay. All right.
Oh my goodness. I didn't see if Professor School converted that spike suit, but Moku finishing off Dragon.
Oh, that was a scary Shine Spark situation. It was 82.
Oh, 82. Okay.
It's kind of hard to see. It's kind of fuzzy on our screens here, but it was still scary. There was a high possibility of chain damage there.
Oh, so yeah.
It was a little scary.
Chain damage is no fun. I think over Bressingham, I think Sloter's took like a 25 to 30 second lead going into Meridia, but as our good friend Eddie, commentator and Super Metroid player, has said before, Meridia is where runs go to die. So it is nice to see all four of our runners defeating Dragon and hopefully making it back to the surface of the planet Zebes to then head down to Torian.
Yeah, Eddie definitely has said that. It was also said long before Eddie ever.
I know.
Well, so just gotta clarify that there, Hockey. You know me. I'm a stickler.
Anything?
I'm a stickler for the accuracy and for people receiving proper credit for their contributions. Okay.
I understand. So if you're out there, whoever you are, if you're the first person that ever said Meridia is where runs go to die, we will.
You can personally message me, and I will make sure that you get proper credit on the wiki. You'll probably have your own page.
I was gonna say we'll send you like a self-addressed prepaid postage envelope with an application where you can prove that you said that, and then we'll let you onto the wiki page. But no postage necessary. That's the benefit.
Okay, yeah, prepaid postage.
Prepaid all the way. EOD text in chat. It was my cousin in '95. In the infancy of Super Metroid speedrunning, only 1 year after it was released. Amazing.
All right, so we do have Sloter's entering G4 here.
But look at this, the bottom two screens between Bressingham and Professor School, practically in a dead heat heading into G4. This is really wild.
Very, very close race here. And it's really cool to me that it has been a close race between pretty much all of our runners at one point or another. It was Sloter's and Bressingham at one point, and then it was Professor School and Moku, and now it's Professor School and Bressingham.
Yeah, and that's not to say that Sloter's has an insurmountable lead. I mean,
oh no, absolutely
can go
not.
Wrong in Torian.
Lots of things can definitely still happen to upset the potential for winners of this race. So don't go anywhere yet.
Yeah, if you're watching, please don't tab out. Do not fix yourself a snack. Do not get your favorite beverage. Keep your eyes glued to the screen because Torian is where our runners are going to bring home the bacon, metaphorically speaking. First the Metroid rooms, then the baby skip, then the Zeb skip, then 3 phases of Mother Brain. It all comes down to this in this incredibly exhilarating exhibition race celebrating the 10-year anniversary of New Route Any Percent World Record.
So we should probably mention ammo requirements here again. Our runners need to exit the last Metroid room with a minimum of 15 and 10 missiles and supers, or 18 missiles and 9 supers. If they have less than that, they're going to need to refill, which is slow and costs time. And additionally, if they have an even lower amount, there is a possibility they can just simply not finish.
Right.
That's rough. So
That's super rough.
Slaughter's made it out with 20 and 10. Professor School made it out with 20 and 10. Bressingham with 20 and 10.
Moku taking 20 and 10 into room 3, which is practically unheard of.
Moku is in a good situation here. Things can still go poorly, so Slaughter's setting up here with the old school baby skip.
The tried and true. Look at this. You don't see it very often anymore.
Nice skip. Professor School with a Stachio baby skip. Bomb spread.
Oh, 4 jump.
Very nice.
Whew.
So that
Beautiful
saved
stuff.
Professor School a few seconds compared to Slaughter's there.
True that.
I didn't see Bressingham set up there. Oh,
went for
grabbed by the
traditional,
baby.
But unfortunately got grabbed.
Unfortunate. Now we have Moku setting up. Slaughter's doing the traditional Zeb skip there.
Very nice. Perfect resources heading into Mother Brain here. Oh, going to have a Stachio skip from Moku. Just got to nail that 3rd jump. 4th jump through the wall. Beautiful. Nice. So that's actually, yeah, Moku's going to take now firmly in 3rd place over Bressingham. Oh, this is so hotly contested. It all comes down to this fight.
I can't tell if Professor School has 2 or 3 missiles here.
I think that's a 2. Because I'm just looking at Slaughter's screen, and I think she also has 2. But honestly, I'm not 100% sure. Chad will probably be able to help us out. Oh! It's a 3!
It is 3. Okay, so
that's
those missiles.
One super.
Well, yeah, so it saves 1 charge shot, or 1 super, which theoretically can save about half a second on this fight. It's not a huge deal. What is more interesting is that it can adjust the timing of when the catch-up phase starts.
Oh.
And what's important about that is that if Mother Brain... Oh, Slaughter's taking some French fries there.
Double French fry, yeah. Just gotta be careful.
If Mother Brain fires a red beam, which we refer to as catch-up, near the end of the fight, it can actually lose you 5+ seconds. Just because of the timing of the beam. Essentially, every time that Mother Brain fires that beam, there's a forced cooldown immediately after the beam, where her AI will not advance. So you saw Slaughter's kind of squeeze those last 3 missiles in there. That was probably to try to avoid a final catch-up beam. So,
wow. Oh, be careful, Moku, taking some onion rings on the face there. But Professor School also into the Rainbow Beam cutscene. Fantastic stuff. This is a really, really close match between Slaughter's and Prof, but Moku and Bressingham giving it their absolute best here.
Yeah, it is. It's certainly still not over. The Mother Brain 3 fight can go pretty sideways, depending on when she decides to attack and whether you miss any shots. Moku got good cutscene, so that's awesome. Mm-hmm. Quote unquote good cutscene saves about 4 seconds just based on Mother Brain's position and how long it takes for her to get through the cutscene here, where she sits down after the baby Metroid latches onto her head.
That's all 4 runners, Zenny, through Mother Brain 2 into the baby cutscene. What an amazing exhibition race this has been right here on Speed Gaming. And as we wait for these cutscenes to finish, here's Shan.
Hockey, your voice is cutting out there a little bit.
Oh, sorry. So I took my finger off the push to talk. So be sure to give these runners a follow. Follow my co-commentator Shiny Zenny. He's amazing Super Metroid speedrunner, as well as making huge contributions to not only the popularity but the democratization of Super Metroid speedrunning. But yeah, Slaughter's gonna, barring any unforeseen catastrophe, is gonna be bringing this one home.
I mean, things can happen and escape. And also remember, Slaughter's doesn't have Moonfall.
That's true.
Which saves, I think it's 2 or 3 seconds in the lead aux room.
This is actually much, much closer between School and Slaughter's than I anticipated. Oh! Uncharacteristic.
Little trouble getting in there. So yeah, Professor School is about 3 seconds behind Slaughter's right now. So this is actually very close.
Could it come down to Leo room? Could it be?
It certainly could. This room has been the deciding factor in lots of PB attempts and races before.
Oh, this is School's
chance.
Oh,
Professor School.
No!
Oh, that is unfortunate.
What if Slaughter's bonks the spark? It could give Prof the chance.
Nice beaky spark from Slaughter's there.
That was very nice. Also for Professor School, though, coming down to the parlor. Slaughter's showing off those ledge grabs, wall jumps, everything. Getting steamed a little bit. But oh, the ship has never looked sweeter, Zenny.
So, just have to mention, Drewski in chat. Prof gonna gain on Moonfall, and then Professor School immediately bonks the Moonfall right after Drewski says that. That has happened many, many times to Drewski over the past 2 or 3 years.
Oh my gosh. All right, so we have finishing in first place on the restream, Slaughter's 27 with an official race time of 44:51. Finishing in second place on the restream, Professor School with an official race time of 44:59. Moku bringing it on home. Bressingham not long behind up the climb there, heading into the parlor.
Phenomenal race here.
Yeah, this has been terrific. Moku about to finish here. Moku finishes with an official race time of 45:40. That's good enough for third place on the restream. And now Bressingham as well, finishing fourth on the restream with an official race time of 45:47. GG's to all runners, not only on the restream, but in the race room. Amazing stuff, Zenny. And a very, very special shout out to first place overall finisher, Sephi, with an official race time of 43:14.
I just want to mention, all 4 of our runners on the restream today finished within a minute of each other. And that is awesome. What a great race. This is such a pleasure to see. I think we have a little, like a couple minutes for interviews, maybe. I'm not sure what the full overall Speed Gaming schedule looks like. All the racers have been marked as done.
Well, we are, there is the Super Metroid Dash Mystery Tournament, but that will be kicking off at 10 after 12 Eastern Daylight Time. So we will see if our runners will join us for a brief interview.
Okay. So we got about
6 minutes.
Okay, cool. Looks like they're not receiving the bot invites.
We'll just do it the old-fashioned way.
You handling, or are you handling that?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Except I need to find a way to get it to Moku, but I think I can get it to everybody else.
We are joined by Professor School.
Hey, Prof. GG's.
We are currently unable to hear you if you are speaking.
Let's see.
How about now?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. I don't know what happened. I fixed it.
That's okay.
Hello. Thank you for the GGs.
Yeah, GG on your race. Were you watching the restream?
I was not, but I had a pretty good idea because I really like when people do this for the community races. It makes it a lot of fun. We normally don't have restreams, but Sloters was posting her times and updates and stuff, including like G4 in the race room. So I knew that she and I were really close, and I knew that I could hang out a good Turian. And I just joked Escape so hard. What was I, probably like 2 or 3 seconds behind leaving?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. So actually, Professor, just so you're aware, you bonked the Moonfall in Leodoc's room immediately after Drewski said Prof is gonna gain with Moonfall. So that's Drewski's fault. It's Drewski's fault.
And I knew it too, because I was like, oh shit, this is Floaters, right? So I can totally gain like 2 seconds here. And yeah, it would have been so hype, and I just like, I have a really good visual cue for it, and I executed I saw everything. My fingers just did the thing that I didn't want them to do. But It was great. It was great. Appreciate y'all putting this together. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. We are joined by 3rd and 4th place finishers, Bressingham and MoQ. Flip that order. Welcome, GG's.
Yo, GG's.
Yo. GG's. I'm very happy with this, keeping up with some true greats on Restream here. I had a lot of fun with that. Decent run for me.
Yeah, it was a really, really good race. There were multiple instances where different runners were within just a few seconds of each other. Bressingham, I gotta ask, so what was your thought going into Fantoon? Your energy was pretty scary there.
My thought was survive. And if I die, it's a good showcase of new route.
Sure.
Way, so.
That's fair.
Well spoken.
But yeah, GG's on keeping up with the other runners, especially with PKRD. That's really cool for sure.
Thank you.
It was super cool, and we saw a lot of lead changes between Brett and MoQ, or Prof and MoQ, or Prof and Professor School, Prof and Sloters. MoQ, how do you feel about your run?
I woke up like an hour ago and just joined in really quick. So I'm really happy that I made it through. Yeah, nice race, nice run.
Yeah, thank you for joining on such short notice.
Yeah, for sure.
Appreciate that.
Having you.
Yeah, I also woke up like 20 minutes before the race. It was quite a bit earlier here in Seattle than I think for some other folks. But I just realized all 4 of us survived, right? We got a full survival restream on Fantoon First.
Not only that, but you were all within a minute of each other with your finish time.
Cool.
It was a really, really good race. I highly recommend you go back and watch it.
Hype. That's so hype. Cool. Thanks for putting this together, and happy 10 years to this nutty category from 30 years ago, this game that we spend all of our time on.
No question.
Sure.
No question, School. What do you think, Zenny? Should we close it out there?
Yeah, I'll let you bring us out, Hockey.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you to our Restream runners, Sloters27, Professor School, MoQ, and Bressingham. And to all you folks watching at home, we wish you a lovely rest of your day and a better tomorrow.
Thanks, everyone.